Coming up, the American Heart Association holds its annual Heart Walk at the Leggett and Platt Center at MSSU.
We are calm, we are clear, we are quiet again with another mild day ahead of us. We'll talk about some potential rain chances and how warm it'll get coming up.
And Iola High School gets honored for having an inclusive environment.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Buck.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got another mild day ahead of us today. I mean, we're now officially in October and we are nowhere near where we should be temperature-wise. And it's only going to get a pinch warmer. I mean, we're not going to soar really hot or anything like that, but for October, this is just kind of crazy.
It is.
And our rain chances are still almost non-existent. They're there, but they're barely there. It's getting to be a major concern. We've been so dry for so long, and it's just a matter of if we're ever going to see any rain at the rate we're going. So let's talk about what we are seeing and what we will possibly see as we go through today. We're going to be mostly clear so far, 55, so much warmer than what it has been, especially compared to last week. So take a look across the region. We got 50 Iola, 46 in Fort Scott, 49 Pittsburgh, 55 Neosho, and 50 in Anderson as we start this day. Kids getting on the bus this morning. It'll be 51 degrees under clear skies with light southeast breeze. Light southeast breeze continues this afternoon, 81 by 3 o'clock. As we head for a high of 84 degrees today, will be mostly sunny. As you can see, nary a cloud in the sky. And then we'll have a few passing clouds tonight. Partly cloudy skies, a mild evening again ahead of us, 55 for the overnight low. In the future track, we are watching late this week, as you can see, maybe a shower or two is possible. It's not until we get into the start of next week, so even on Saturday, stray shower out there. But as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're looking at a decent chance of showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. We're going to take a look at the 7-day forecast and take a look at some of these storm chances here in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds like a plan. Hopefully we can get those chances up a little bit.
Yeah, we need some kind of rain, and we need it now.
Yes, we do. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, just before 2 a.m. Sunday morning, there was reports of a crash along State Route V near Northeast 40th. A Burton County deputy arrived first, locating the crash about 10 miles northwest of Lamar, Missouri. And soon, State Highway Patrol were notified. It was a single vehicle crash with 3 occupants, and the driver of the crash, 18-year-old Benjamin Harrington, killed. Next of kin was notified. 2 passengers were teens from Lamar. A 16-year-old female suffered serious injuries. She was transported by air evac to Mercy Springfield. Joplin History and Mineral Museum hosts its 24th annual Fall Rock and Gem Show. Dozens of mineral rocks were on display and for sale. Entry was free for visitors wanting to learn more about minerals and Joplin's historic ties to gems.
The entire reason that Joplin exists is because of the minerals that were found here in the ground. So we actually have some specimens that are local here, but we also have people who come from all over the area to show their wares, their minerals, and talk about rocks.
Joplin History and Mineral Museum is planning a rock and gem show in the spring of 2023. The annual American Heart Association Heart Walk is held at the Leggett and Platt Center at Missouri Southern State University. Educational booths and survivors explain the impact of a community coming together to fight a cause. Money raised used to help the American Heart Association fund critical research, healthy lifestyle, and CPR education.
I do. I think it makes people more aware of symptoms of heart disease and strokes and heart attacks, and makes them more aware of what's going on and help to prevent those things from happening.
KOAM's very own Jordan Abbey, that is not him, emceed the event. Neosho Art Council hosted a sidewalk chalk art contest to kick off Neosho's Fall Festival. A variety of artists, young and mature, created beautiful sidewalk masterpieces. The contest encouraged the community to interact with local artists in action. Neosho hosts its annual Fall Festival on the first Saturday in October. The annual Collectors Expo show kicks off. The expo had cosplay contest, cosmic comic books, comic creators, and video game tournaments. The event is similar to that of San Diego's Comic-Con. It also had a special guest.
Well, I like to get deals on stuff for my own collections, but of course, seeing a lot of my other friends here around, so we can get together and have a good time at other places and see other people of the geek community in costumes and other things that they do is a lot of fun.
It was held at the Cecil Floyd Elementary in Joplin. Every fall, Lamar, Missouri celebrates its very own legendary beginnings. The celebration remembers Wyatt Earp, who was the city's constable in 1869. Residents enjoyed the day with food, crafts, baby show, and live music.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of Wyatt Earp Fall Fest is just to see everyone having so much fun right here locally. I think a lot of times, people think if I want to have fun, I've got to leave Lamar, leave Burton County. But, that's just not so. You can have fun right here in our community with our friends and our neighbors, and it's great to be a part of this.
Wyatt left Lamar, heading west, starting the journey of what would become one of America's frontier legends. Iola High School in Kansas is being honored for its inclusive environment at the halftime of the football game this weekend. They received a banner for being chosen as a unified champion school by the Special Olympics. The winner must meet 10 Special Olympics standards that include providing and sustaining an inclusive environment, such as increasing interaction between students with and without intellectual disabilities. One teacher says this is not only great for the athletes, but for their peers as well. There are several things they can learn from working with these athletes.
Peer buddies really get a lot out of it too. They learn to become a little more empathetic, a little more compassionate, and that type of thing. So I think it's really a good balance of that.
Bates says each year she tries to implement the program a little bit more for the children to have more options and opportunities.
All right, as promised, a look at the 7-day forecast as we head through the rest of the week. We do see a bit of a warm up. We start to approach highs near 90 by midweek. And then we see some slight rain chances and a decent cool down as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those rain chances pretty low, but at least they're there. And one thing at least they're doing too is they're making our temperatures considerably more seasonable before we start to warm up again by the end of the weekend.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Over the weekend, PSU and MSSU took each other on in the Miners Bowl. We'll have a recap of that game.
Plus, soccer players from all over the world take on each other in a unique way.
And if you're having trouble sleeping, we'll have some tips for you on how you can get better sleep. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Two 2-1 teams meet up for a big primetime matchup. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in Tampa Bay taking on Tom Brady and the Bucs. Both teams suffered their first loss of the season last week. Chiefs led that one 41-24 at the start of the fourth quarter. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 2 touchdowns. Chiefs took that game 41-31. Pittsburgh State dominated Missouri Southern on Saturday, 38-9. The Gorillas have now won the last 8 games against the Lions.
The 10th-ranked Pittsburgh State Gorillas came ready to play on Saturday against rival Missouri Southern.
We dominated like we needed to. That's what we came out and we dominated.
Pitt State forced a 3-and-out to start the game, and then Chad Dodson Jr. led a 4-play touchdown drive to put the Gorillas on the board early.
They had a couple plays early, and I think that kind of got us on our heels, and we never were able to quite stop the momentum. There was a wave, and they rode that thing, and we just kind of got knocked over by it.
Dodson Jr. finished the game with 201 passing yards and 3 scores, while defensive lineman Zeke Wall recorded his first collegiate touchdown.
Oh, I know he was living it up. Yeah, I always love seeing a big guy score a touchdown. So to see 99 punch that thing in, that was great.
That man, he deserves the world, man. To see him get in there, he deserves every bit that he gets.
Defensively, Pitt State suffocated Missouri Southern and kept them out of the end zone the entire game.
We knew they wanted to establish the run. They have a good running back. He was averaging, I think, 100 yards per game, and that was kind of the moment that we look ourselves in the mirror as a front seven. Is like, we're going to be tested, and I thought we answered well.
I don't think they gave up very many big plays, if any. Well, our guys are stopping the run too, and when you make somebody one-dimensional, that's a long afternoon on offense.
Pitt State improves to 5-0 with the win. They have a big test ahead when Northwest comes to town next Saturday.
That's the one we circle every year. We're excited for the challenge that they're going to bring. We're going to be ready.
Now, Pitt State hosts the 4-1 Northwest Missouri Bearcats on Saturday. Missouri Southern faces Lincoln. Both games kick off at 2 p.m. Well, St. Louis has earned a spot in the postseason, but there's still a few more games left on the schedule before the playoffs begin. Cardinals played their final regular season home game, Game 3 of a 6-game series with Pittsburgh Pirates. Cardinals fall 7-5. Albert Pujols goes 2 for 2 and hits his 702nd career home run. Kansas City Royals are in the middle of a 6-game series against the Cleveland Guardians to close out the regular season. Game 3 yesterday afternoon, Cleveland wins it 7-5. Manny Pasquantino goes 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Royals and Guardians are back at it on today at 5:10. Well, still to come, a soccer match in Indonesia ends in tragedy due to a stampede. We got another check of your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Well, we have had a busy week in terms of dealing with Hurricane Ian last week, so we're going to bring back weather trivia. Now, I forgot to change out this lady. You do not want to be running in this particular situation. So on January 23rd, 1971, Prospect Creek, Alaska got a little cold, setting a record low as the lowest temperature ever recorded in the U.S. Now, it cut off my question, but how low did that temperature get? Was it negative 79.8 degrees? Negative 90.4, negative 128.6, or negative 85.1? We will have the answer to that question here in just a little bit. First, a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker nationwide. You can see there is activity out there. It's just we're still capped in this dome of high pressure that does not want to let go of our area, which is why it's been so dry and so warm for so long. So here we take a look. 7th and range line, clear skies, 55 degrees as we start this day, so milder than where we were last week. 55 Yates Center, 58 in Chanute, 51 Columbus, 49 Miami, and 53 in Monette as we start this day. Now, kids getting on the bus this morning, mostly clear skies, 51 degrees with a light southeast breeze. It'll warm up today quite nicely. 81 degrees, mostly clear by 3 o'clock. And heading through the rest of today, we're looking at a high of about 84 degrees under sunny skies as it just stays clear and dry. A few passing clouds later tonight, giving us partly cloudy skies. We'll drop back down to a low of 55 degrees, and a quick look at the 7-day forecast shows where we continue to warm up through midweek, and then by Friday, look at Friday, 68 degrees, 70 Saturday, 80 Sunday. Slight rain chances, but there are rain chances there nonetheless. Now, back to our question real quick. As to the answer for this question, it was A, negative 79.8 degrees. The lowest temperature ever recorded in the world was minus 128.6 at Vostok Station, Antarctica on July 21st, 1983. What do you get when you take some of the world's top soccer players and have them compete on an airplane without gravity? The answer, record-breaking fun. Ashley Strohmeyer takes a closer look.
It's a soccer match unlike any you've ever seen.
3, 2, 1, 0 gravity.
As some of the world's top athletes duked it out on board a plane flying at more than 20,000 feet in the air while performing special maneuvers to create a zero-gravity environment.
The conditions are totally different. It's extremely complicated.
Officials at MasterCard were behind the stunt, which brought together soccer players from Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East.
Playing football at a zero-G is really something unique. I haven't seen anything like it before, and definitely it's something that we can call priceless.
But even though the interior of the aircraft resembled a soccer field, players say the absence of gravity had them feeling like a fish out of water.
You don't have control of the situation, and in this case, you have to adapt to where the ball is, to the space itself, to the circumstances of having to try to float.
Teammates could use the ceiling and walls of the plane to help them get their bearings, but bodies definitely collided as players spun in midair as they pursued the rogue ball.
For me to be able to participate and live this experience was undoubtedly something unforgettable, unique, and fantastic.
Now, the Out of This World game has also set a new Guinness World Record for the highest altitude soccer game ever played. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. Would you play a sport in zero gravity? For me, that'd probably be about the only way I could play a sport. You can vote yes or no. Do so at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Participate in the app, of course, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. We're back with Healthwatch right after this.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, a new survey suggests many Americans are struggling with sleep. Elise Preston has more on what you can do if you're having issues getting to bed.
Gina Fiorino is a busy, full-time working mom. The 44-year-old says it is not easy to get sleep.
I spend a lot of time trying to wind down. My brain does not slow down as fast as I probably would like it to.
Nearly 1 in 5 Americans report struggling to fall asleep at night, according to a new survey from The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Dr. Anissa Das says from the pandemic to politics, people have more stress and worry.
We've noticed a 29% increase over the past several years in insomnia referrals to our clinic.
Stress can increase heart rate, blood pressure, and make muscles tense. Dr. Das says relaxation therapy can help manage stress as we're falling asleep.
One form is progressive muscle relaxation, where you progressively go through your body to relax your muscles. Another one is guided imagery, where you really focus on a story or a scene, and it helps you to focus on something other than all the things that we're stressing about.
Bad habits can also impact sleep. Nearly half of Americans are on phones before bed. More than a third fall asleep with the TV on.
We want bright light in the morning, which helps amplify our circadian drive, and then we want to decrease the amount of light we get in the evening.
Gina says being able to spend more time with friends and doing activities is helping her stress.
I'm able to talk through some things that are happening in the world and the community, so I'm hoping that combined with just trying to get on a better fall asleep time schedule will help settle things out for me.
She also tries to set aside her phone when it's bedtime. Elise Preston, CBS News.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
All right, kids getting on the bus this morning. We're going to have mostly clear skies, 51 degrees with a light southeast breeze. Heading home, still clear, 81 by 3 o'clock with that same southeast breeze at about 5 miles an hour. Going through today, we will be clear all day long with an afternoon high of 84. And as we head into tonight, we'll eventually drop back to a mild 55 degrees with a few passing clouds, so we'll have some partly cloudy skies. Quick check of the 7-day. We continue to warm up through midweek, 87 by Wednesday, and then we cool off significantly heading into the weekend ahead of some slight shower and thunderstorm chances. More of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Coming up, the American Heart Association holds its annual Heart Walk at the Leggett and Platt Center at MSSU.
Skies are clear right now. They're going to stay that way. We'll talk about how mild it's going to get today and how mild it's going to be over the next few days coming up.
And Iola High School is honored for having an exclusive environment.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So this early morning, Monday morning, it's a Monday. It feels like a Monday. You know, I was talking to you driving into work between Joplin and here. It seemed brighter this morning than it usually is at 3:40 in the morning. There were more cars out on the road. I mean, we're not talking traffic, but usually I can count on 2 hands the number of cars I see between my house and here. And today there was a lot more traffic, it seemed, for 3:40 in the morning. This whole day has just seemed a little off. I got here, all of our ink pens in the Weather Center have mysteriously gone missing.
I haven't been here all weekend, so you
cannot
blame
neither
me.
have I. So I have no idea what happened, but they're all gone. So it's definitely an odd Monday. With some of our lights in here weren't working this morning, but they got that fixed. It's just an odd Monday. Something's off about today. I really hope it's nothing bad. Maybe it's something just strange, but it It's an odd Monday for sure. And we've got some odd October temperatures to go right along with it. Take a look outside at 7th and Range Line. We have those clear skies. It is 55 degrees as we start the day. We do have some cooler spots. 48 Fort Scott, 49 Pittsburgh, 54 Neosho, 45 down in Grove. And the kids getting on the bus, it's going to be right around 51 degrees under clear skies, light southeast breeze. And as they head home, 81 degrees and clear skies by 3 o'clock. And then take a look at what we're expecting today. We're looking at an afternoon high of 84 under mostly clear skies. And then we're eventually going to drop back off to an overnight low of, again, right around 55 degrees tonight under partly cloudy skies. We're going to talk about an opportunity for at least a slight chance of rain and a cool down. But before it cools down, it's going to warm up. And we'll talk about all that in the 7-day here in just a couple of minutes.
All right. I thought it was just me.
No, it's a little toasty in here too. So
Which is really weird.
Yeah, usually we come in here, it's like walking into a meat freezer, a meat locker, but I adjusted the air conditioning, so hopefully it'll cool off a little bit. It was set kind of high, which is odd. That's what I'm saying, this whole Monday, just something is odd. The AC was cranked up. It's warm in here. It's strange outside. I was wide awake this morning. Tanya is not wide awake. And usually it's the other way around, it seems. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe that should be our thing. Are you experiencing an odd Monday? Share it on our Facebook page.
Or do you often experience odd Mondays?
Yeah, is this, I mean, you know, this seems to be rare here, but maybe it's something that
I
happens.
definitely do not feel like I'm floating in zero gravity, though.
No, that story was
maybe just stuck in mud.
I think, yeah, I think that's where we are.
Yeah. You're in the zero gravity.
Sure.
All right, we'll move along now. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, just before 2 a.m. Sunday morning, reports of a crash along State Route V near Northeast 40th alerted Burton County Emergency 911. A Burton County deputy arrived first, locating the crash about 10 miles northwest of Lamar. Missouri State Highway Patrol were notified. On scene, we learned it was a single vehicle crash with 3 occupants. The driver, Benjamin Harrington of Lamar, was killed. Next of kin was notified. 2 passengers were teens from Lamar. A female who was 16 years old suffered serious injuries. She was transported via air vac to Mercy Springfield. The annual American Heart Association Heart Walk was held at the Leggett and Platt Center at Missouri's Southern State University. Educational booths and survivors explained the impact of a community coming together to fight a cause. Money raised will be used to help the American Heart Association fund critical research, healthy lifestyles, and CPR education.
I do. I think it makes people more aware of symptoms of heart disease and strokes and heart attacks, and makes them more aware of what's going on and help to prevent those things from happening.
KOAM's very own Jordan Abbey was the MC at the event. Neosho Art Council hosted a Sidewalk Chalk art contest to kick off Neosho's Fall Festival. A variety of artists, young and mature, created beautiful sidewalk masterpieces. The contest encouraged the community to interact with local artists in action.
One time I went on Pinterest after I heard about the chalk thing, and then I saw this jellyfish thing, so I tried doing it. It didn't look as good as my house, but and then I tried doing it again, and it looked more decent.
Neosho hosts its annual Fall Festival on the first Saturday in October. The annual Collectors Expo show kicked off over the weekend. The Expo had cosplay contests, comic books, comic characters, creators, and video game tournaments. The event is similar to that of San Diego's Comic-Con. It also had a special guest.
Well, I like to get deals on stuff for my own collections, but of course, seeing a lot of my other friends here around, so we can get together and have a good time at other places and see other people of the geek community in costumes and other things that they do is a lot of fun.
Who are you going to call? There you go. It was held at Cecil Floyd Elementary in Joplin. Well, every fall, Lamar, Missouri celebrates its very own legendary beginnings. The celebration remembers Wyatt Earp, who was the city's constable in 1869. Residents enjoyed the day with food, crafts, the baby show, and live music.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of Wyatt Earp Fall Fest is just to see everyone having so much fun right here locally. I think a lot of times, people think if I want to have fun, I've got to leave Lamar, leave Burton County. But, that's just not so. You can have fun right here in our community with our friends and our neighbors, and it's great to be a part of this.
Wyatt left Lamar, heading west, starting the journey of what would become one of America's frontier legends. The drone pilot industry is growing in Carthage. Tech Center students are working with Steadley Elementary in Carthage for some hands-on drone flying. With Steadley Elementary's 25th anniversary coming up, the Tech students flew the drone for some aerial footage of the teachers and students to send into the district. That is just one way for the students to help the community learn at the same time.
They get the opportunity to put what we're learning into action. Getting them out in the field, it's a whole different atmosphere. They are doing more, they're seeing where it is becoming more practical to them.
I've met quite a few people through this program and interviewing in the history here at Steadley for the video we did on that, and it was pretty cool to, just meet new people.
The Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International predicts that by the year 2025, at least 100,000 jobs will be created for drone pilots. Iola High School in Kansas is honored for its inclusive environment. At the halftime of the football game over the weekend, the school received a banner for being chosen as Unified Champion School by the Special Olympics. KOAM's Yana Hatula spoke to a teacher and 2 athletes as they were decorating their homecoming float for the game.
Iola High School has been part of Special Olympics for a while, but when the new teacher and coach Ann Bates took over, she wanted to apply for the Unified Sports.
This is a program offered through Special Olympics, and what it does is it partners our Special Olympics athletes with their non-disabled peers.
All 7 students in the classroom have a peer partner training with them.
When we first started, that wasn't the case. We had only a couple peers that wanted to try it out, but it's kind of grown over the years, so that's really exciting.
The athletes are also happy about having their own partners.
Basically just help each other out during all of our events and everything.
One of the peers thinks training with the students with intellectual disabilities teaches them how to be more open and think outside of a box.
Meeting new people, having fun, and seeing how it's like for other people. My mom's taught me to always treat people how you'd want to be treated.
Peer buddies really get a lot out of it too. They learn to become a little more empathetic, a little more compassionate, and that type of thing. So I think it's really a good balance of that.
Bates says social media posts of the athletes and their non-ID peers working out together has brought them attention.
All of our events and practices, and I post those onto there, so we kind of try to get the community to see kind of what we're doing and what the kids are doing. So I think that's a big reason why we did get this award, was the different things we shared on social media this last year.
In Iola, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Bates says each year she tries to implement the program a little bit more for the children to have more options and opportunities.
All right, as promised, quick look at that 7-day forecast. You can see where we start to warm up by the middle of the week, 87 Wednesday. And then look at Friday. We drop down to 68. These are slight rain chances, but again, rain chances nonetheless as we head into next weekend. If anything, we're looking at much more seasonable temperatures by the end of the week.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, Ed Sheeran heads to court to defend himself over a matter even music experts can't decide on.
Plus, Venezuela and the United States swap prisoners. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, at least 125 people were killed in a stampede following a soccer game late Saturday. The tragedy occurred after a game between 2 provincial teams on the Indonesian island of Java. Now, fans in Malang, Indonesia rushed the field after their team lost the match. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer has the story.
Fans furious that their team, Arema, had lost, poured onto the field at Kanjuruhan Stadium in eastern Java. And then mayhem as police chased them with batons and tear gas, which is banned indoors under international rules. Some fans attacked a police vehicle, and there was a deadly surge for the exits. Those who could helped the injured outdoors to ambulances, but 34 people were trampled to death in the stadium. The rest died in the hospital. Muhammad Rian Dwi Kayono survived with a broken arm, telling reporters there was tear gas everywhere. The cleanup after one of the deadliest soccer disasters ever included cars burned out when rioting spread before the violence subsided. As families waited outside the morgue, Pope Francis offered prayers for the victims at his weekly blessing. Funerals have already begun, this one for two brothers, just 14 and 15. And Indonesians are now demanding to know who to blame for the carnage. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Tokyo.
Venezuela frees 7 Americans imprisoned in the South American country. In exchange, the U.S. is releasing 2 nephews of Venezuelan First Lady Celia Flores. The 2 were convicted on drug smuggling charges in 2016. Kitty Logan is in London with more details.
Those freed are 5 oil executives employed by the Houston-based company Citgo and 2 other American citizens. They'd been held captive in Venezuela for more than 5 years. The executives were abducted in 2017 during a meeting in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas. This was the biggest prisoner swap ever arranged by the Biden administration. President Biden responded to the release in a statement, saying, "Today, we celebrate that 7 families will be whole once more. To all the families who are still suffering and separated from their loved ones who are wrongfully detained, know that we remain dedicated to securing their release." This release is also seen as a gesture of goodwill by Venezuela's president as he tries to rebuild relations with the US. It's thought the deal was done with back-channel negotiations. Secretary Blinken paid tribute to those who secured the deal, saying, "After extraordinary efforts and perseverance across the State Department and wider US government for many months, those wrongfully detained Americans and legal permanent resident are free and will soon be reunited with their loved ones. I am grateful to Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs Roger Carstens and the rest of our State Department team for their tireless efforts to achieve this outcome."
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
We were just talking about our own personal heritages, and so I was just caught off guard. I've got some Cherokee Indian and Irish, and so every so often I can occasionally sound authentically Irish, but I will not bother you folks with that today. 55 degrees, clear skies in Joplin right now. It's going to stay clear throughout the day. 50, 48 Center, 58 Chanute, 50 Columbus, 49 in Miami, and 54 degrees in Monette as we start this Monday morning. Kids getting on the bus, 51, mostly clear with a very light southeast breeze. That light southeast breeze holds on. We get up to 81 under clear skies for an afternoon high today. Gabe, could you not break that?
Try not to.
Okay, we'd all appreciate it. I mean, granted, you know, it's whatever. You guys probably didn't hear it, but, you know, there's Gabe over there. Gabe's being violent with our equipment. So I'm telling you, this Monday's off. Anyway, 84 today, mostly sunny skies as where we will be. And heading into tonight, a few passing clouds will give us some partly cloudy skies. We'll gradually cool off to a mild 55 degrees for an overnight low. And the 7-day forecast, we warm up. 85 tomorrow, 87 Wednesday, 85 Thursday. And then take a look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, we drop down to 68, 70 Saturday, 80 on Sunday. Each of those days also slight chances of showers and thunderstorms. They are slight chances, but they are there, and we will take rain and a cool down in any form that we can get it. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Just before 2 a.m. Sunday morning, there were reports of a crash along State Route V near Northeast 40th. Burton County deputy arrived first, locating the crash about 10 miles northwest of Lamar, Missouri, and soon State Highway Patrol was notified. It was a single vehicle crash with 3 occupants. The driver of the crash, 18-year-old Benjamin Harrington, was killed. Next of kin notified. The 2 passengers were teens from Lamar. A 16-year-old female suffered serious injuries. She was transported by air evac to Mercy Springfield. The annual American Heart Association Heart Walk was held at the Leggett and Platt Center at Missouri Southern State University. Educational booths and survivors explain the impact of a community coming together to fight a cause. Money raised is used to help the American Heart Association fund critical research, healthy lifestyles, and CPR education. And the Neosho Art Council hosted a Sidewalk Chalk art contest to kick off Neosho's Fall Festival. A variety of artists, young and mature, created beautiful sidewalk masterpieces. The contest encouraged the community to interact with local artists in action. And the annual Collectors Expo show kicked off this weekend. The expo had cosplay contests, comic books, comic creators, and video game tournaments. The event is similar to that of San Diego's Comic-Con. It also had a few special guests. That's a check of today's top headlines. The news you need to know before you head out the door.
And a check of that forecast before you head out the door. We are clear in Joplin at 7th and Rangeline. We're also quite mild, 55 degrees just before 6 o'clock this Monday. We've got 47 Fort Scott, 49 Nevada, 52 Lamar, 56 in Carthage, and 45 in Grove. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Still a little bit on the mild side, a little cooler than where we are right now though. 51 degrees, mostly clear with a light southeast breeze at 7 a.m. Still sunny by 3 p.m., 81 with that slight southeast breeze continuing. Going through the rest of today, we will continue to warm up. We will be clear, maybe a stray cloud or two, but otherwise sunny and 84 as we go through today. Heading into tonight, a few more passing clouds giving us some partly cloudy skies. We will gradually drop back down to a mild 55 degrees for an overnight low. Now the future track shows us some possible shower activity right as we head into Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday across the area. But as you can see, it's pretty slight. It isn't until next week, which I want to skip ahead to, that we start to see our better chances of rain. By Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we have a better chance of showers and maybe even some thunderstorms, but it also does some warming up. Look at Wednesday of next week, possibly 90 degrees for a high. Back to this week, though, we'll still warm up, 87 by Wednesday, before our first possible chance of showers comes in Friday, brings temperatures way down, giving us at least a slight chance of a shower or two. 68 Friday, 70 Saturday, 80 Sunday, and overnight lows back on track for the fall. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Maroon 5 is taking up residency in Vegas, and Ed Sheeran is headed to court.
Nichelle Medina has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran has been ordered to defend himself in court in a lawsuit that alleges he lifted his 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud from Marvin Gaye's classic Let's Get It On. A U.S. district judge said a jury should decide whether the two songs are substantially similar because music experts can't seem to agree. Thinking Out Loud hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in February 2015. Gaye's Let's Get It On topped the chart in September 1973. A new immersive exhibit takes visitors on a trip through the mind of director Tim Burton. Tim Burton's Labyrinth features a maze of rooms full of Burton's original sketches, lights, music, scenery, and costumes inspired by his movies like Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands.
It's like a weird fun house, which kind of represents my mind in a certain way.
Tim Burton's Labyrinth is on display through mid-December at a museum in Madrid. Maroon 5 is bringing their biggest hits to Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale today for the Vegas residency at the Park MGM's Dolby Live. M5LV will start in March and run through August for 16 shows. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, San Diego.
Vegas is still on my bucket list. I have never been.
I have not been either. But there are many places I haven't been, so I mean, my bucket list is probably 6 or 7 miles long. You know, there's two things I'd really like to see, in all honesty. It'd be the Grand Canyon or the desert in general. I'd like to see the desert Southwest and Montana.
Ooh.
Those two contrasting points of
Montana
of beauty.
is beautiful.
That's what, those are two places I'd like to see. You know, with Ed Sheeran's song, reminds me of Ray Parker Jr. and the Ghostbusters theme. And he ended up losing on that one.
Bob Seger, right?
If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. It's still early, but yeah, it just came down to you gotta be careful how close you get to another melody. But you know, think about all the songs that are written and performed over the years. I mean, how do you keep coming up with new stuff all the time? It's got to be tough. So you may borrow from here or there, but just make sure you do so wisely if you're going to borrow.
You may unknowingly borrow too.
That's true. That's a possibility as well. So just, be careful if you're out there doing any singing, songwriting, or any of those things like that. You will not have to be careful when it comes to the forecast. We'll talk about the mild day ahead coming up. All right, as kids get ready to get on the bus in about an hour or so, it'll be 51, clear skies with a light southeast breeze. We'll hold on to that light southeast breeze. We'll also hold on to clear skies and 81 by 3 o'clock. And we've got another warm day ahead of us, especially for October. We're heading for an afternoon high of 84 under sunny skies throughout the rest of the day. And then we'll see a few passing clouds late tonight, giving us some partly cloudy skies, still mild though at 55 degrees. And we wanted to show you the future track. So we are watching slight chances of rain and maybe a rumble of thunder later this week, but it's next week I wanted to skip ahead to, where we've got our best chances so far of shower and thunderstorm activity as we head into late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and possibly even holding on into Thursday. Even though, it's 90 degrees, we're at least looking at some rain chances. Quick check of this week. We warm up 87 by Wednesday, and then we cool way down 68 by Friday with those slight chances of rain heading into the weekend. We're back after this.
Coming up, authorities in Burton County respond to a Sunday morning crash, which takes the life of an 18-year-old driver.
We remain dry and mild across our portion of the area, but cold front activity off to our northwest could bring some changes. The latest coming up.
And the Jasper County Juvenile Office turns to a high-tech solution to monitor teens in its program.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now, 6 o'clock on the dot, and it is still pretty mild outside, especially considering that it is October. So let's take a look. But there's changes. There's changes coming.
Yep.
And I'm kind of excited about some of them. We are mostly clear at 7th and Rangeline right now. We're dropping back a little bit, though. It is 49 degrees. You got to love Mondays. I told you this Monday's a little bit off. School's letting us know, because I knew I heard something strange. The school's letting us know the bus is running late. Okay, so it's nice that they let us know these things. 46 in Fort Scott, 49 Pittsburgh, 50 in the Osho. So kids getting on the bus, we're going to be sitting right around 51 degrees under clear skies, light southeast breeze. It'll warm up 81 this afternoon by 3 o'clock with clear skies still and that same southeast breeze at about 5 miles an hour. We'll be mostly clear throughout the day, 84 for the afternoon high. A few passing clouds tonight make us partly cloudy, but we'll stay mild. Overnight low of 55 degrees. And I wanted to show you the future track real quick. Real quick. So we're watching some slight rain chances later this week, which we'll talk about in the 7-day. It's next week I want to fast forward to. It's like putting in a VHS tape and holding that fast forward button to the right scene. You hit play and hold it. Here we go. Okay, so by Monday, Tuesday of next week, we are watching some decent chances of showers and maybe some thunderstorms. Even though, look at Wednesday, we could see a high of 90 degrees, but look at all that green on the map. We're hoping for some thunderstorm activity by the middle of next week. As for this week, we're watching a cold front. I'm going to talk about that in the 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I'll take a cold front. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Especially considering, we're looking at 84 today. It's October. It is not supposed to be this warm, but that's...
I'm ready for fall.
Yeah.
And so are the trees.
The trees, they are kind of just dying now instead of changing color, and that's a little sad. We're not getting all that beauty we usually get.
That's right. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, an early Sunday morning crash in Burton County takes the life of a teenage driver. Just before 2 a.m. Sunday morning, reports of a crash along State Route V near Northeast 40th alerted Burton County Emergency 911. A Burton County deputy arrived first, locating the crash about 10 miles northwest of Lamar. Missouri State Highway Patrol were notified. Authorities reported a single vehicle crash with 3 occupants. The driver, Benjamin Harrington of Lamar, was killed. The next of kin was notified. The 2 passengers were teens from Lamar. One, a 16-year-old female, suffered serious injuries. She was transported by air evac to Mercy Springfield. Jasper County Sheriff's Office congratulates the first 3 inmate graduates from the county's jail treatment program. Inmates either volunteered or were referred to the program as a court sanction. While in the program, participants were held to a higher standard and were models for other inmates. The 120-day treatment program consists of individual and group counseling, meditation, and life.
It feels really good to complete something that took me a while to get. I haven't completed anything since high school, and this is the first thing I completed since then, so it feels really great.
Anybody that was to go through it, takes it to heart, and really puts effort into it, they will come out with a lot of success, yes.
Officials say they expect many more graduates to come from the program. Jasper County Juvenile Office uses new technology to help keep track of teens in the program. RFID is a radio frequency ID that teenagers wear while they are on the premise. It helps staff members keep track of the amount of time teenagers spend on education, meals, exercise, and other information required by the state.
We have to make sure that they're taken care of. This technology allows me a little more freedom and a lot more trust, with my detention officers to make sure that things are done properly, things are done right, and kind of ensures that, the children are getting what they need while they're back there.
This makes the Jasper County Juvenile Office the first and only juvenile facility in Missouri to use this technology. 4 states came to Joplin to show its heart over the weekend. The annual American Heart Association Heart Walk took place at Leggett and Platt Center at Missouri Southern State University. Educational booths and survivors explain the impact of a community coming together to fight a cause. The money raised will be used to help the American Heart Association fund critical research, healthy lifestyles, and CPR education.
I do. I think it makes people more aware of symptoms of heart disease and strokes and heart attacks, and makes them more aware of what's going on and help to prevent those things from happening.
Our own Jordan Aubie emceed the event. Well, authorities confirm at least 82 fatalities in Florida in the wake of Hurricane Ian's path of destruction. North Carolina confirms 4 deaths. While it only took hours for Ian to carve its deadly path, the recovery and cleanup will take much longer. And floodwaters are expected to rise, adding yet another complication to search and rescue operations. Lee County officials, meanwhile, continue to defend the timing of their evacuation orders less than 24 hours before Ian made landfall. As a new week begins, more than 500,000 Floridians remain without power. We'll have more on the aftermath of Hurricane Ian later in the show.
Well, the podcast boom kicks off on this date in 2014 when Serial debuted. A spinoff of the long-running radio program This American Life, Serial quickly became a smash hit. 12-episode podcast which details the case of Adnan Syed, who was convicted of killing his ex-girlfriend, became the first podcast to reach 5 million downloads and the first to win a Peabody Award. The season renewed interest in Syed's original trial and the discovery of previously undisclosed evidence and mishandling by his trial counsel led to Syed's conviction being overturned in 2016.
Oh, sorry.
No, go right ahead.
In 2022, a judge vacated the conviction and Syed was released from prison.
Which we actually mentioned that here on the morning show just not long ago, it seems. So.
Yeah, real close.
And a quick check of our 7-day forecast. So we will warm up through the rest of this week. 85 tomorrow and Thursday, 87 on Wednesday. Then we see the first cold front roll through Friday, dropping temperatures to 68. We're also watching some slight shower and thunderstorm chances. Those chances are low, but they're there. We absolutely need the rain, and we're 70 on Saturday, where we start to warm up again heading into next week, 80 by this Sunday.
All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, not so special delivery. Authorities arrest 3 U.S. postal workers in a $1.3 million fraud and identity theft scheme.
Plus, an international squad of soccer players lace up their boots for some zero gravity fun.
And a new study highlights the link between inflammation and cognitive problems in older breast cancer survivors. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the woman who allegedly recruited migrants from Texas to fly to Martha's Vineyard has been identified as Perla Herta. Herta is a former combat medic and counterintelligence agent, recently discharged after 2 decades in the U.S. Army, and that's according to the New York Times. In mid-September, about 50 Venezuelan migrants were flown from Texas to the Massachusetts resort town using Florida taxpayer funds. In June, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis set aside $12 million to transport unauthorized migrants out of the Sunshine State. But shortly after, the money was being used in place far from Florida, rounding up asylum seekers on the streets of San Antonio. One migrant told CNN that the woman named Perla offered him food, clothing, and money in exchange to find others willing to fly to Massachusetts. 3 U.S. postal workers have been arrested in a $1.3 million fraud and identity theft scheme. The Justice Department accuses the postal employees and a civilian accomplice of stealing credit cards in the mail. According to the DOJ, the credit cards were then used at a variety of high-end retail stores in New York and New Jersey. The DOJ says 5 other individuals involved in the fraud and identity theft scheme still remain at large. Charges involved carry lengthy prison sentences if the defendants are found guilty. Pittsburgh police detectives are investigating the death of a football fan after the Steelers game on Sunday. A man died after apparently falling off an escalator at Acrisure Stadium just after the game against the New York Jets. Paramedics worked to save the man on site, and he was transported to a local hospital in critical condition. According to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania police, the man later died from his injuries. The stadium has a capacity of more than 68,000 and is home to both the Steelers and the University of Pittsburgh football team. That's a look at one of today's top national stories and a few others. Let's send it over to Chris for a look at your forecast.
There were 1 or 2 national stories in there that we covered, but definitely interesting. Keep up on everything across the nation as you start your day. And something else we're keeping up with is our weather. We are clear at 7th and Range Line, looking pretty good. 49 degrees right now in Joplin under those clear skies. We have got 54 Yates Center, 57 Chanute, 48 Columbus, 50 in Carthage and Lamar, and Neosho, 47 in Anderson as we start the day. Kids getting on the bus as they are set to do so, unless they're on the same bus route as my kids, and that's 35 minutes late. Otherwise, should be about 7 a.m. 51 degrees, mostly clear skies, light southeast breeze. And as we head into the afternoon, 81 at 3 o'clock, mostly clear then as well. And we'll stay mostly clear through most of today. So we head for a high of 84 degrees, so very unseasonably warm. And then we head into tonight, a few passing clouds give us some partly cloudy skies. We'll drop back down to a low of 55 degrees. And then the future track. So there's 2 features on the future track. One is cold front off to our north and west. That's cold front number 1. And it doesn't bring us, as you can see, a lot of rain chances this week, but it does bring us rain chances, slight ones, and it does bring us much cooler temperatures. Then on the flip side of that, we start to warm back up again as we head into the start of next week. But then as we head into next week, we have a system coming out of the southwest, which, as you can see, by Tuesday, late Monday and Tuesday, shower and thunderstorm chances increase. So while temperatures also increase, we're watching better chances of showers and thunderstorms heading into next week. This week, though, we will still warm up. We'll be 85 tomorrow, 87 Wednesday, 85 again on Thursday. And look what that cold front does. It puts us seasonable by Friday, 68 degrees, 70 on Saturday, 80 on Sunday. And you can see where we have those very ever so slight shower and thunderstorm chances. And while they are very slight, they're there. And of course, as you all know, any rain we can get is better than no rain at all. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for these shower and thunderstorm chances, and then keeping an eye on ones for the middle of next week as well. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Have you ever heard of butterboarding?
Can't say that I have, but it's just like it sounds. Slathering a bunch of butter on a cutting board, adding some fancy toppings, and then taking a big swipe of it all with some bread.
Jeannie Moose reports on a food trend that's literally spreading.
It's a dish for those who like to butter up their guests.
Soften your butter
while riding the crest of a culinary trend.
Have you heard of a butterboard? Have you heard of a butterboard?
Literally boards slathered with butter and who knows what sprinkled in.
Add tons of flaky salt, tons of lemon zest,
a little bit of red pepper flakes,
fresh figs, strawberries, and add in some roasted garlic.
I drizzle just a little bit of honey over that chili oil.
Then everyone is supposed to dig in with their bread. The sharing part freaked out this skeptic. Looks like a board of germs and dust and a hair falling in it. But food influencer at Justine Snacks begs to differ.
I love it.
Her video whetted appetites, though she credits Joshua McFadden, who included the butter board in his 2017 book. Now it belongs to everybody.
Y'all, this is to die for.
Or die from. One critic called it a disgusting pile of coronary. When this TikToker didn't exactly devour it, someone asked, "Why are you chewing it like it's a piece of gum?" Some are already moving on to the cream cheese board, topped with lox and capers, mopped up with a bagel. Already the butter board is starting to feel like an overloaded pizza, with chunks of cured salami.
Apricot jam.
I happen to have these dried edible flowers.
Why just butter your bread when your bread can be butter boarded?
You guys, this is perfect served with a warm, crusty bread.
A warm, crusty bed is one garnish too many. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Now, I could see a use for that for like corn on the cob, because you could just roll your corn across
Yeah, but
it.
they're saying you're supposed to add toppings and I don't know what all to the butter.
Just whatever you want, seasonings
So
and
then,
stuff.
but that's what I'm saying. And corn on the cob doesn't really, do us any
You
good.
could do that. You could add your seasonings and stuff to corn on the cob and just make it a lot of
I guess I just don't
big
season
mixture.
corn on the cob. I mean, I put butter on it. I just don't season it.
I would be game for the cream cheese one though, because I'm all about like adding spicy jellies and stuff to cream cheese and using them as dips.
I think Amber would be too. She's big on the cream cheese. It seems like there's a lot of dishes these days that just by default, it's like, here, put in half a gallon of cream cheese. Like, they all just seem to call for cream cheese these days.
Just the one
I don't know
she
what's
picks,
going on.
'cause
Yeah.
she likes cream
That
cheese,
must be
you know?
that
Makes
must
sense.
be it, because all the ones she makes, I'm like, I went up to her and I said, "Have you ever noticed that it seems like everything you make somewhere, some way includes cream cheese?" She goes, "Oh, I guess I never noticed that." I'm like, I think you noticed that. I really don't know. All I know is that seems to be the trend. It's not bad. I want everyone to know I'm not complaining. It's just it was an odd trend I noticed that 90% of the dishes we make at home, somewhere, some way, somehow include cream cheese.
It's not a bad thing.
Not included, what does not include cream cheese?
Our forecast.
Yes, you are so right. Our forecast day, no cream cheese at all. And see, I told you the temperature is going to balance in here because now the AC shut off and it's getting warm again. It's getting warm again. Okay, so, and it's not so warm outside. If only we had a window to open up in here, it wouldn't be so bad. 49 degrees in Joplin right now, the light east-northeast breeze. That breeze is going to start to shift out of the southeast later today. 52 Yates Center, still a bit warmer, 57 in Chanute, 47 Newata, 46 Welch, 47 Miami, and 49 Neosho as we start this day. Kids getting on the bus at approximately 7 a.m., 51 degrees under sunny skies, or clear skies at least. Clear skies persist, 81 at 3 o'clock with that light southeast breeze. As we go through the rest of today, we will warm up to an unseasonably warm temperature of 84 degrees under sunny skies. Then we have a few passing clouds tonight, giving us some partly cloudy skies, and we stay mild, 55 for the overnight low. And look at the 7-day forecast, boy, it's only going to get milder. 85 on Tuesday, 87 Wednesday, 85 Thursday. Cold front, about like that, coming into Friday, brings us some slight shower and thunderstorm chances, but hey, at least there's some chances, which is better than no chances. Brings us down to 68 on Friday, 70 Saturday. We start to warm up heading into next week, 80 on Sunday. We're back with Healthwatch right after this.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, the CDC finds suicides in the U.S. increased 4% last year, following 2 consecutive years of decline. There were 47,646 suicides in 2021. It's still lower than the all-time high of 48,344 set in 2018. Now, the largest increase in the rate of suicide occurred among males ages 15 to 24. California researchers have found a link between inflammation and cognitive problems in older breast cancer survivors. A study involving hundreds of breast cancer survivors over the age of 60 found those with cognitive issues also had higher levels of an inflammation marker in their blood known as CRP. Typically, doctors check CRP levels to determine risk for heart disease. And a new study finds eating refined grains is associated with an increased risk of developing heart disease in middle age. Conversely, eating whole grains reduce the risk of premature heart disease. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
A quick check of our forecast as we head out the door today. It's going to be nice. It's going to be clear. It's going to be warm. We are clear right now, but a little on the cool side, but seasonable. 49 degrees in Joplin, 47 Iola, 48 Fort Scott. This is the first time in the last 2 or 3 weeks that Fort Scott and Iola have actually been close in temperature. They're not that far apart on 54, but it always seems like there's this huge temperature gap. So I don't know what is on the county line, but there's something that causes this big gap in temperatures up there. All right, I'm going to have to go up and investigate, find out what's going on up there. So today, kids, getting on the bus, 7 a.m., 51 degrees, clear skies. And we'll be clear today, 3 o'clock, 81 for an afternoon high, or afternoon temperature at 3 o'clock. 84 is the afternoon high under sunny skies. As you can see, we stay quite warm. Heading into tonight, few passing clouds. Temperatures slowly drop off to a mild overnight low of 55 degrees. And as we head in through the rest of the week, we really warm up. 87 Wednesday, 85 Thursday. Cold front hits us, 68 degrees. 70 on Saturday, 80 Sunday. Slight chances of rain as we head into the weekend. More of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Coming up, authorities in Burton County respond to a Sunday morning crash which takes the life of an 18-year-old driver.
Another above normal week ahead of us temperature-wise, but some changes on the horizon. We're going to talk about them coming up.
And the Jasper County Juvenile Office turns to a high-tech solution to monitor teens in its program.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner.
Why is Chris smiling? I just introduced him to the song that's been annoying me lately that my 9-year-old won't play, is playing nonstop.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard it. Maybe you haven't. Just on YouTube, just look up the Corn Kid or the Corn Song.
I've been enlightened by this particular track.
It's a good, clean song about the agriculture product corn.
It is.
And everything that's great about corn.
It's pretty much like the same 2 lines over and over for 2.5 minutes. But you will not forget that it's corn. If you've already heard it, then you are probably going, gosh, why are you putting this in my head again? But yeah, no, check it out. Totally.
Now, I do have to say this though, because I have my alarm on my phone set to it plays Spotify music, and it's called the Happy Mix, and it just fluctuates through the most played songs on my Spotify. And Leif had gotten a hold of my phone, and he'd played the Corn song way too many times. So this morning, that's what my alarm was, over and over.
It's corn.
Yes.
So I feel you there, because the kids like to use my YouTube for watching videos on our TV at home, and then I'll load up my YouTube here, and it's a bunch of the most bizarre random recommendations I have ever seen in my life. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Something else that's a little bizarre and random is how mild it's going to be this week, or at least for most of it. 49 degrees, mostly clear in Joplin right now. We've got 47 Iola, 48 Pittsburgh, and 49 in Neosho. Kids getting on the bus this morning, going to be right around 51 degrees, mostly clear skies, with southeast breeze at 5. Same southeast breeze later, 3 o'clock. We're looking at 81 and still sunny. As we go through the rest of today, we're going to be 84 under sunny skies, so unseasonably warm to say the least. And pretty mild tonight. A few passing clouds give us some partly cloudy skies with an overnight low of 55. And we're going to talk about a big change by the end of this week here in just a few minutes in the 7-day forecast.
All right.
And it doesn't involve corn.
Rain?
It does involve some rain,
well, that's
but
good.
no corn.
Well, the corn needs rain too.
The corn needs rain.
There you go.
If we can get some rain, then it will be involving corn.
That was unfortunate. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, an early Sunday morning crash in Burton County takes the life of a teenage driver. Just before 2 a.m. Sunday morning, reports of a crash along State Route V near Northeast 40th alerted Burton County Emergency 911. A Burton County deputy arrived first, locating the crash about 10 miles northwest of Lamar, Missouri. Missouri State Highway Patrol were then notified. Authorities report a single vehicle crash with 3 occupants. The driver, 18-year-old Benjamin Harrington of Lamar, was killed. Next of kin was notified. The 2 passengers were teens from Lamar. One, a 16-year-old female, suffered serious injuries. She was transported by air evac to Mercy Springfield. The Jasper County Juvenile Office uses new technology to help keep track of teens in the program. RFID is a radio frequency ID that teenagers wear while they are on the premises. It helps staff members keep track of the amount of time teens spend on education, meals, exercise, and other information required by the state.
This tracks all that information, and it's a lot less paperwork that we have to do because it automatically tracks it through a mobile system that basically looks like a phone that we're able to use on the floor while we travel around the detention center with the children.
The Jasper County Juvenile Office is the first and only juvenile facility in Missouri to use this technology. The death toll from Hurricane Ian continues to rise. At least 82 fatalities are confirmed in Florida and 4 in North Carolina. As Christian Benavides reports, Florida's road to recovery will be long and uncertain for many.
Hurricane Ian carved a deadly path of destruction across Florida in only a few hours, but the ongoing rescue and recovery will take time and resources.
We are continuing the first priority, which is saving as many lives as possible.
Such a big storm brought so much water that you're having basically what's been a 500-year flood event.
In some parts of Florida, flooding is getting worse. The St. Johns River in Seminole County keeps rising. Those nearby need boats to get to their homes.
We're at the deep end, so I think these first 4 houses are all flooded, and the rest are just getting flooded.
On Sanibel, these volunteers brought residents of the hard-hit West Coast barrier island to safety.
It came up about 4 feet in the house, so I've been living upstairs.
Here in the Fort Myers area, the damage is so bad, local elected leaders have used words like catastrophic and life-changing to describe the devastation. This street just one example of that. It's lined with boats washed ashore by storm surge. Lee County officials, meantime, continue to defend the timing of their evacuation orders, less than 24 hours before Ian made landfall.
Warnings for hurricane season start in June, and so there's a degree of personal responsibility here. I think the county acted appropriately. The thing is that a certain percentage of people will not heed the warnings regardless.
As a new week begins, more than 500,000 Floridians remain without power. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Fort Myers Beach, Florida.
President Biden is heading to Puerto Rico today to tour damage from Fiona and to Florida on Wednesday. A couple from Derby, Kansas joined the ranks of Red Cross volunteers heading to Florida to help with relief efforts in the wake of Hurricane Ian. They are driving an emergency vehicle to Orlando. Although they have engaged in recovery efforts in Kansas before, this will be a totally new experience.
Because we don't know what we're going to see when we get down there. You know, we did the Andover tornado. We saw a lot of destruction there and how people reacted there. You know, like I said, we were born and raised in Kansas, so we've seen tornadoes, but we've never been to a hurricane. We don't know what kind of destruction we're going to see or anything along that line.
I think it's going to be massive.
The couple's experience includes helping with Andover tornado recovery efforts, and they expect to be in Florida for at least 2 weeks. Well, this morning, we're discussing out of this world sports.
Literally. Talk about light on your feet. Some of the world's top athletes took soccer to a whole new level, playing a game at more than 20,000 feet in the air. The game brought together soccer players from Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East.
I love watching that one player go across, just flailing their arms. Like windmill action to get across. Teammates could use the ceiling and walls of the plane to help them get their bearings, but bodies definitely collided as players spun in midair as they pursued the rogue ball.
So that's our question to you, though. Would you play a sport in zero gravity? So far, 59% of you say no. I'm right there with you. I think that's the only way I could play a sport, but I'm not doing it like they did. 41% of you say yes, you would. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Quick check of the 7-day forecast. We warm up as the week goes on. 87 by Wednesday, 85 Thursday. Cold front hits us by Friday, bringing us slight shower and thunderstorm chances. Hopefully those will increase. Any rain's better than no rain, but look at Friday, 68, 70 Saturday, and we start to warm back up as we head into next week.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Prices at the pump may not be on their way down as leading oil-producing nations mull cutting production by more than 1 million barrels a day.
And we got another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
In Consumer Watch this morning, drivers have been enjoying a welcome break from recent record gasoline prices, but there's concern that the OPEC plus oil-producing nations are considering cutting output by more than 1 million barrels a day when they meet this week in the United Arab Emirates. That would be aimed at lifting petroleum prices and could affect what Americans pay at the gas pump. Well, Tesla says it sold a record number of electric vehicles in its third fiscal quarter. The company sold nearly 344,000 cars despite production and supply chain issues. Its sales figures rose 42% from the same period last year. Tesla said, though, it's becoming harder to transport new cars at a reasonable cost when orders peak. At the weekend box office, Paramount's Smile topped the charts with an estimated $22 million in ticket sales in North America. The horror movie about a therapist terrorized by frightening events as she can't explain cost only $17 million to produce. Paramount is the parent company of CBS. Second place at the box office went to Don't Worry, Darling in its second weekend in theaters. The psychological thriller starring Florence Pugh and Harry Styles took in over $7 million in sales. That's it for Consumer Watch. We'll be right back.
Well, we've got a quick check of your forecasts and stuff before we come back. And it's going to be a mild one yet again today. We've got clear skies in Joplin at 7th and Rangeline and a little bit cooler. So the thing is, it's seasonable for now. 49 degrees in Joplin. We have got 52 Yates Center, still warm in Chinook, 57, 49 Columbus, 50 in Neosho, and 53 in Monette as we start this day. Kids set to get on the bus in the next few minutes. 51 at 7 a.m. under clear skies with a light southeast breeze. That southeast breeze continues to be light later, 81 degrees and sunny as we head into the afternoon. That's at 3 o'clock. We're heading for an ultimate high of 84 degrees under mostly sunny skies. And as we head into tonight, a few passing clouds gives us partly cloudy skies. Still mild though, 55 degrees for an overnight low. And then on the future track later this week, we're watching this cold front that's going to try and come in, and it's going to bring us a slight shot of showers and thunderstorms, say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And these are pretty low chances, but at least they're there. And it will also cool us down. It's next week, as we in the late Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that we start to watch slightly better chances, at least right now, for showers and thunderstorms across the area. But you can also see will be much warmer. Look at the 7-day forecast for this week. 87 by Wednesday is our warmest day of the week. We start to cool off, and then that cold front really cools us off. 68 Friday, 70 on Saturday, and we start to warm back up again at the start of next week. Well, we're lighting the candles on some birthdays and anniversaries when we come back from break, but first we're going to head to the big city and see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, country star Kelsey Ballerini. She sits down with Anthony Mason to talk about her new album and also how she's working through some major changes in her own life. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Private First Class Herschel Brown. The native of McCune, Kansas, served in Alaska from 1942 to 1944 as a member of the 272nd Infantry Company H. This decorated veteran also earned the Good Conduct Medal and the Asiatic Pacific Theater Ribbon. To Private First Class Herschel Brown, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
All right, time for some Monday birthdays on this beautiful Monday morning. We begin in Oswego with Mason's Whalen. Now, Mason's birthday was actually on Saturday, so of course that means that Mason's been celebrating all weekend long as he turns 8 years old. Happy birthday.
All right, and we've got Rikers Wallen celebrating birthday number 8 as well. Did you just do both of them?
I probably, I didn't, but I should.
Okay, so Mason and Riker both celebrating. Riker is Mason's cousin. His birthday was yesterday.
They were both born less than 12 hours apart from each other.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
And Landon Omi celebrating a birthday today. I understand that I don't have it on my paper, but Landon is 9 years old.
Happy birthday, Landon. Told you this Monday's off. We've also got Addie Borjas in Humboldt turning 14. Addie, a very happy birthday to you today.
And Landon Akey is Sweet 16 this year in Neosho. And Landon is our traffic assistant, Debbie Haynes' grandson.
Well, happy Sweet 16 to you, Landon. Another Sweet 16 for Josh Helton. Birthday was on September the 18th, so we're a little bit behind. So that just means Josh has been celebrating for quite some time. So happy birthday to you, Josh.
All right. Bailey Bland celebrating birthday number 17 this year. Bailey is in Pittsburgh with love from Uncle Jamie and Katie.
And we also have Lindsay Roberts Cavanis, who's turning 25 in the O Show. Lindsay, a very happy birthday to you.
Elizabeth O'Neill celebrating birthday number 34 this year in Fredonia. We call her Lizzie.
And we've got Bill Harvey celebrating birthday number 62 in Pittsburgh. Bill, this comes with love from the family. Happy birthday, Bill.
And in Columbus, Debbie Clore celebrating birthday number 65 this year.
And we've got Janie Works celebrating birthday number 73 in Humboldt. Janie, a very happy birthday to you.
And Rose and Ruth, twins, Rose Lloyd, Ruth Sullivan, are celebrating their 80th birthday. Love the throwback picture there. That's awesome. They are in West Mineral. And happy birthday, ladies.
All right. We've also got Phyllis Costin turning 84 in Altamont. Very happy birthday to you, Phyllis.
Earl Carlson celebrating birthday number 89 in Elsmore, Kansas.
And we've got Carrie McKenzie in Columbus celebrating a birthday as well. Happy birthday, Carrie.
Joyce Jacobs in Pittsburgh, belated birthday wishes going out to Joyce.
And we've got Ryan and Megan Sodeman celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary on Saturday. A big celebration because that's, it's all weekend long for Ryan and Megan Sodeman on their 17th in Pittsburgh.
And our very own Jalen Banks. He's our weekend anchor and reporter here at the station. Happy birthday, Jalen.
We know that guy. We've seen him once or twice here on the morning show. He's about as tall as you are, which makes me extremely short. Or perhaps I'm average and you two are extremely tall.
Jalen's actually a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Well, Jalen, happy birthday to you. And our list continues with Bill Hilbrandt, turning 87 in Iola. Bill, a very happy birthday to you. Dennis Cooper celebrating in La Harpe, Kansas. Dennis is Bill's son. And then Gilbert and Carol Frobish celebrating their 63rd wedding anniversary in Joplin. Happy anniversary and birthday to all of you.
All right, and you can submit your birthdays to us. It's quite simple. Use our email, birthdayswithanus@KOAMtv.com or birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
And why don't you head over to our website after the show is over at KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It is easy to do. You get cool birthday announcements from us. You also get some great deals from local businesses. All you need to do is go over to KOAMnewsnow.com, sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. All right, today's a great day to do that because take a look at this sunrise. Look at these colors. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. We've been getting some great sunrises the last several mornings. 49 in Joplin right now, so right about where we should be. We've got 52 Yates Center and Fredonia, 51 Independence, 48 Welch, 49 Miami, and 50 in the Neosho. As we go through the rest of today, it's going to be another warm one as we head for a high of 84. Sunny skies across the board, maybe a stray cloud or two, but otherwise clear. It's tonight. We have a few increasing clouds, giving us partly cloudy skies. 64 at 11, 59 by 2 a.m. with a mild overnight low of 55 degrees. Then there's the future track we want to look at. Cold front off to our northwest will eventually make its way down here by the middle of next week. And it brings us some slight shower and thunderstorm chances Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday. They're slight, but they're there. But it does bring our temperatures down before they start to rebound heading into next week. Then we have a system off to our southwest. And that system is expected to bring us hopefully much better shower and thunderstorm chances. You can see there's a lot more green on this map by next week. This is Tuesday morning, and these storms just kind of hang on to us for a while. As we head into Wednesday and even into Thursday, we hold on to a few shower and thunderstorm chances. That's next week. As for this week, we still warm up again. Look at Wednesday this week, 87 degrees. We go through the week. Stay warm, partly cloudy, and that cold front knocks our temperatures way down. 68 Friday, 70 on Saturday, 80 on Sunday, and you can see also those very slight shower and thunderstorm chances. Again, they're very slight, but they are there. Take a look at our overnight lows, too, as they start to creep up near 60, and then that cold front comes through and brings them back down to a slightly more seasonable level. We'll be back with a look at the news you need to know before you head out the door after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Burton County deputies respond to a crash along State Route V early Sunday morning. Authorities report a single vehicle crash with 3 occupants. The crash took the life of the driver, 18-year-old Benjamin Harrington of Lamar. Next of kin was notified. The 2 passengers were teens from Lamar. One, a female, suffered serious injuries. She was transported air evac to Mercy, Springfield. The annual American Heart Association holds its annual Heart Walk at Leggett and Platt Center at Missouri Southern State University. Educational booths and survivors explain the impact of a community coming together to fight a cause. The money raised is used to help the American Heart Association fund critical research, healthy lifestyles, and CPR education. The Neosho Art Council hosted a Sidewalk Chalk art contest to kick off Neosho's Fall Festival. A variety of artists, young and mature, created beautiful sidewalk masterpieces. The contest encouraged the community to interact with local artists in action. And the annual Collectors Expo show kicked off this weekend. The expo had cosplay contests, comic books, comic creators, and video game tournaments. The event is similar to that of San Diego's Comic-Con. It also had special guests. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As you head out the door, we are expecting another mild one, 84 degrees, mostly sunny skies as we head through the afternoon. A few clouds overnight will leave us with some partly cloudy skies, but we remain mild with temperature dropping back down to 55. We stay above normal for the majority of this week, 87 by Wednesday. Then a cold front comes in, brings us some slight shower and thunderstorm chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Also brings our temperatures down, 68 Friday, 70 Saturday. We start to warm up next week, 80 by Sunday.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making homemade pretzel rolls in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Interesting.
Yummy.
And of course, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. At the age of 91, iconic actor William Shatner has a new book, Boldly Go, featuring reflections on his career from Star Trek's Captain Kirk to exploring the edge of space. Ahead on CBS Mornings, the actor shares his passion for life, loss, and his love of adventure.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, MSSU kicks off homecoming week with a full slate of events. We're going to tell you how you can join in on the celebration.
Plus, we're going to introduce you to a rapping granny who just happens to be running for office.
All right.
That's going to wrap it up first for now, though. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it all again today at noon.